So she was taking her clothes off, and it was just like peeling an onion, you know. The more she did it, the more I cried. So to something serious.
Yeah.
6.66 million crimes were recorded in the UK in the years 2023-24, with 6.74 million crimes recorded in 2022-23. Now, although it's lower than 22-23, it's the second highest recorded. 21-22 was lower
Mm.
because of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? Now, these stats that I got, of course, only mention crimes recorded and don't mention crimes not recorded.
Mm.
Those that victims thought it would be no use to inform the police because they wouldn't do anything anyway. And there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a case of if you see a fallen tree in the woods and you weren't there, did it make a noise when it fell?
Mm.
If you don't report the crime,
Nobody knows.
was
Yeah.
there
Nobody knows. Yeah.
was there a crime? Of course, that statistic could also show that confidence in the police is ebbing, which is why people are not reporting crime independently if the crime was serious or not. You know, there are people that get assaulted and they keep quiet about it.
Yeah.
The crime rate is higher in Northern England, the highest rate being in Cleveland, uh, for 147.7 crimes per thousand people.
Oh.
That's like
Mm.
just over 10%. Compared with the English and Welsh average of 93.6. Now, even 93.6 is high, if you ask me, per thousand.
Yeah.
The three regions in the north, Yorkshire, northeast, and
Mm.
northwest,
Mm.
were the highest crime rate of any region. Southwest was the lowest at
Mm.
69.9 per 1,000. When it comes to shoplifting,
Mm.
440,000 crimes were recorded in England and Wales until March of this year. Uh, yeah. The number
Yeah.
is probably higher,
Yeah.
as not all shops call the police or indeed report the crime, of course. Shop owners claim that gangs are going into the shops to
Mm.
steal, to resell what they'd stolen.
Mm.
Recently, a boot shop in Barnet in North London was ransacked by a group of men, even though other people, clients of the shop, were complaining. They
Yeah.
were complaining the men as were stealing. You know,
Mm.
the men were saying, "Look, I'm going to go. I'm going to go in a minute. I'm going to go in a minute." As we're filling the bags up.
Yeah.
The favorite products, what people steal, are alcohol,
Mm.
meat.
Mm.
Try and steal meat from a butcher. That must be difficult.
Oh, yes.
And designer clothes.
Cool. Yeah.
So you're looking at top end fashion shops.
Mm.
Now the thing is that the thieves know there is no comeuppance as police turn a blind eye
Mm.
if the theft is below £200. You know, there were in the United States they had a law that said if it was less than $1,000,
Mm.
that nothing will be done. And there were
Mm.
criminals in there with calculators going up,
Yeah.
going up $999.99, and then
Yeah. That's it. Off. Yeah.
scarping. Police have told retailers to only report 2 cases of shoplifting a day, as they don't have the time to cover the full extent of of the problem.
Mm.
And managers have told shop workers to not intervene because of possible violent retaliation.
Mm.
Now, it's an interesting story that came out yesterday of a thief. I don't think he got the message about how much he could steal.
Yeah.
So, an alleged shoplifter was prevented from leaving a Poundland shop, right,
Yeah.
in Greenford in Northwest
Right.
London.
Okay.
A shop worker prevented the person from leaving the shop, and a tussle ensued, where 5 items fell from the man's coat. So that's 5 times £1. That's a fiver.
Yeah. Okay.
After they fell on the floor, after the products fell on the floor, the man managed to escape to the street where he ran away. Now, 2 things struck me with this story. Reading this, of course, it was a lot more elaborate where the story
Yeah.
written, but basically that's the most important points are here.
Mm.
Firstly, the person was accused of stealing before he left the shop. Now, when I was in the UK, you had to have
Yeah.
the stolen goods on your person when you hit the street to
Mm.
prove the intention of leaving the shop without paying
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
And so that sort of, I can only think that the owner of the Poundland shop, it was just tired of constantly being ripped off.
Yeah. Well, it's a franchise system. I'm not sure how they work, but yeah.
Well, it's volume.
Yeah.
The margins of a Poundland shop. If you can only charge £1 for a product, the
Yeah.
margins have got to be minuscule.
Well, yeah.
But if you sell 10,000 of a product, then those minuscule profits are going to
Mm. Yeah.
accumulate, and you might get a living out of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, for somebody to go into a Poundland shop and steal, they must be in real dire straits. Because
Mm.
sometimes it's cheaper to pay for something in a Poundland shop than it is
Mm.
to steal it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah.
But anyway, so it seems like things are getting tight in the south of England as well as in the north. If these are happening in London, of course.
Right.
And this guy nicking from the pound, let's say he got his fiver's worth of goods out of the shop and away he went, and he's trying to
Mm.
resell them on the street. What's it? How much is he going to make? Because normally these sort of people they charge half the retail cost.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So he's going to make 250. So he might be able to get a box of matches with that, I
Well, it
suppose.
depends what you start. I mean, okay, it could be Coke or it could be bottle. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's weird. It's strange.
What
Yeah.
what would imagine if you're going to steal something, for him to get to the £200, he's got to be absolutely stuffed with products in the pound shop. He's got to get 200 products, and that's when they're not multiple purchase. You got
Mm.
three in a packet for £1.
Yeah. Ah,
If he sold it, all right. So, like I said, if he sold it for half the price, he wouldn't really have
no.
the price for a cup of tea.
Right.
So, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper,
All right. Yeah. It's got to be good.
she
Yeah.
she said the government will crack down on low-level shoplifting and make assault on a shop worker a specific crime, which I thought it already was.
Yeah.
Called
If you
assault.
assault anyone.
Yeah. Well, we're talking Yvette Cooper here, so
Well, yeah. Well, yes. Okay.
probably her daughter is a shop assistant somewhere.
Well, yeah. I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah. Over to you.
Oh
So,
well,
so
in a past life, I did work in a shop, and I've worked in retail. I was actually a store porter many years ago. We used to have to go around and collect the money from the tills. We had a strong box to do it in. And as a big burly lad, I was asked to pull around, and they gave us protection. They gave us these protective glasses in case somebody came and squirted something in our eye. Yeah. So I was only about 18 at the time. I didn't really think it was quite cool actually walking around with this big box, you know. Yeah, there's a few of us, the office ones, sort of the administration staff, you know, senior managers and all that would come around. Yeah, goes in as quickly as they can, put it into an envelope, into this box. The box was quite heavy. It's on wheels. I mean, you couldn't just grab it and drag it out. Well, I suppose you could do if you're that desperate. Then what would you do if you hit the street with it? So yeah, they had a problem with shoplifters. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a joke. My dad said, "Well, couldn't you just tip it over?" We were always told if somebody's going to be determined to take the lot, let them take it. Yeah, especially if they come in with something a bit more than a lemon squeezer. Yeah. Now, yeah, we also had there was a problem with shoplifting, and when I was working there, they used to have a security guard who went round the patrol. Well, they had 2 shifts, but they had one guy. He was a weight trainer. He was quite a big guy. He could probably hold on to a majority of guys or people. Again, what do? If somebody goes on the street, like you said, he had to grab them as soon as they're walking out the door almost. I mean, I've seen scraps in the UK where the security guys got hold of someone and yeah, it has been a scrap, but then they get accused of assault if they actually injured the person that they're apprehending, let's just say. What can they do? They can ask the person to stop. We had one case of somebody that left when I was working in this shop, turned around and just gave the goods back and walked off. You can't do anything in that case. They took a chance. Yeah. I have seen people actually there. The police get called straight away. Used to be there within minutes, I may add, in the 80s. Must be the 1980s. These police would go up there. They had the person in the room looking quite terrified. You know, I seem to remember. It wasn't meant to be. Well, just walked past the door and just saw them one day. Yeah. Now, I can't tell if it was a specific type who was stealing or who was up to what. I didn't really pay that much attention. As long as it wasn't somebody I knew, I didn't really care. So, yeah, I've seen firsthand what's happening at the moment in the US and the UK. Yeah, and it has a whole generation of things. I'm probably the last generation that's going to be brought up to realise there's consequences for your actions. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Even I remember a time where the police would kick you, basically, if you got caught. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened in the 80s.
Do you mean like they do in Manchester Airport?
I saw the report. I haven't watched the video yet. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Me neither. I'm with the police on this one.
Well,
if somebody tries to steal my gun, I kick him in the head too.
Yeah, I mean, we live where we live, and they do sometimes practice quite robust policing here. Sometimes, I've seen it.
Society does. If you're caught stealing, and the local neighbourhood find out, they stone you.
Oh, yeah.
I saw one guy in the centre of Recife. He'd just been attacked by a mob. And was sat on the pavement trying to gather his wits around. Somebody came up with a coconut and threw it on his head.
Yeah.
What did he do to deserve that?
I was up not quite your way, a little bit up near. I'm not saying where you come from, but yeah. But this guy, there's a bus conductor, and they just happened. I don't know what had gone on the bus, but the bus conductor, when the head conductors and the driver were both off there, and the bus conductor had a lump of concrete over his head, ready to do something. Which brings me on to the other point: if the police don't do things, and police by consent and everything else, we are then looking at a vigilante society.
Is what they have here.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't upset certain people. Well, you don't upset, like say, communities here or people like that. which we wouldn't do. I mean, it's not in our nature. That will be the next step. Now, if you do have 50 people who are really angry about one, and we know that's happened in our local area here, one or two or problemed young people, yeah, they turn on them, and the mother pleads their case. Everything else, it's almost like, yeah, I like to say it's a law. Yeah, the police have to go in and go and protect the assailants. Yeah, yeah, and do get prosecuted. The assailants do get prosecuted because there's a demand for it. Well, now we have the same problem here under our current administration, from what I've been told, where they do let them out again within minutes. Sometimes the police take them in. I have had a policeman admit to me, he said, we'd like to be a little bit more assertive in scaring this robust, yeah. But what can they do? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the same as anything, and everyone then points to a bad policeman and anything else. They've got a difficult job. I mean, yeah, there are some who do go on a bit of a power trip. Maybe that's part of the job. You have to go on a power trip. If you've got that uniform on, you're a target. I mean, yeah, okay, really bad policemen have to be sorted out the same as any other people in society. Shame we can't sort our politicians out. But yeah, this Yvette Cooper, I mean, yeah, this is it. This is typical political talk. We've got a problem. We invited it. We're now going to invent more laws to seem like we're actually doing something when the present laws exist. And this runs all the way through. I know if I go up and hit somebody in the street for no reason, I hope I never have a reason to hit anyone anyway, I could be in trouble. And especially now, you've got CCTV everywhere. Even in our city, in Brazil, you can't walk anywhere in the main city without being on a camera somewhere, even in our local area. And yeah, we do have crime, sorry to say, but yeah, it's all picked up within hours. It's on the internet somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, there's shopkeepers. They're trying to make a living like anyone else. Shoplifting isn't new. I have known people where I come from who were lifted for shoplifting, again going back to the 80s and early 90s or the 80s. And yeah, they ended up in court for it. They ended up in Borstal for it.
Shoplifting isn't new. Of course it isn't new. Stealing isn't new. Of course it isn't new. I mean,
yeah.
Since Moses went up on the mountain and found his 10 tablets, it said,
yeah, 10 commandments, yeah.
So, somebody must have stolen for them to have that thou shalt not steal.
Yeah.
Of course, what the difference is that these days in the UK, which is supposed to be a developed country with a healthy economy, shoplifting is prolific.
Yeah.
It isn't the fact that shoplifting exists that's creating the headlines. It's how much shoplifting is going on. Is that the headline here, not necessarily we all know that there's the little thieves here, there, and everywhere. It's becoming big business. It's becoming it's the day-to-day. Is it becoming the norm? And not only shoplifting. I'm talking about crime in general.
Yeah.
I think the UK is becoming a lawless society, and that's becoming the norm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would encourage people in the UK, doesn't matter how small the crime is, report it, get it on the figures, embarrass the government, or embarrass the politicians. Local councillors in their areas should be doing more to petition main government. The unfortunate thing is there's a certain group of politicians, and okay, we can all have sympathy with poverty, but this doesn't solve poverty. In fact, it will create it more and more. There is a problem emerging in the UK, certainly. And for me, yeah, you go online, you report every crime, as I would encourage anyone in Brazil as well. You build the statistics. Come the day, the next budget, it gives the local police authorities a little bit of a or the local authorities even a little bit of a of leverage